I am a comedian, actor, director, philanthropist, motivational speaker, all around good dude. That's who I am. Tez Bannerman.
Well, what I would like to know is, what's one goal you think you have to obtain to be successful?
One goal that I have to obtain to be successful. It really depends on what your opinion of success is. I feel like I can say honestly that one of those things would be just making somebody else's life change for the better, or saying something or doing something that's going to spark somebody else to help them develop change in the world in a positive way. And I feel like honestly that's what creates success in my life. I've done it. I've helped out several people in my life. I helped a few kids. I do a lot of mentorships, teaching young kids how to play football, etc. And just seeing them go from a negative aspect to growing into themselves, becoming more positive, helping other people. That to me, that's success all around. So I feel like I've been successful time and time again. And I don't feel like it's a limit to how successful you can be. So I still plan on doing more. I plan on being more of a benefit to other people.
With you discussing what your craft and career is,
Okay.
what importance does that hold in your life?
The first thing I said was me being a comedian, and I grew up loving to laugh. You know what I'm saying? My family, all of us loved to make each other laugh. We would come home, have bad days, and we would sit around the table and play Make Me Laugh. And those are memories that I hold dear to myself because no matter what was going on, in the world, we would always find a way to laugh about it and bring joy to each other out of it. So I feel like me being a comedian, you know what I'm saying, I'm just doing what I was put here to do, make other people laugh. But comedy it's a twisted thing because it's like the only thing in the world that can really like connect people. I don't care what walks of life you're from. If you sit in a room and you're laughing hysterically next to a person that you generally normally would hate, y'all gonna have some type of connection from that laughter. Laughter unites people. And I feel like truthfully, in these tough times in the world, like it's, no matter what you're going through or what you're doing, I feel like taking a second to laugh, it'll change your life. So I feel like it's a gift from God to be able to make people laugh. And I really value the arts. So.
Okay. So what obstacles have you faced reaching your destiny?
As a comedian?
Correct.
As a comedian, several obstacles. Nothing that's too far-fetched. I meet people who have negative things to say about it. People who don't believe in me, and that's often, you always gonna meet somebody who don't believe in you. People who talk down to me, it's been difficult, just trying to continue on a path to do comedy. Sometimes, it's just things that people deal with. You lose your job, you lose your car, you lose your house, your funds are low, and it's like, are you going to continue to chase this dream or continue to, try to change the world by making people laugh? Some people may not look at it as a thing that you have to do, but it's like, I don't have no choice but to do this. So I continue to go through everything that I go through to do what I have to do. It's kind of, I feel like it's my duty. I have to do this. So, I deal with ups and downs just like everybody else, and some things are worse than others, but it's just the obstacle. I climb over and keep going and get prepared for the next one.
So what moment in your fatherhood development did you feel your weakest and your strongest?
My weakest point was having my daughter snatched from under me, and not being able to see my daughter for 2.5 years, fighting with a friend of the court and really feeling like I was getting nowhere, not knowing about my daughter's well-being, not knowing if she was okay, not being able to get in contact with her mom. And it was a lot of issues going on with me and my daughter's mom, so it was kind of preventing us from moving forward, or just me even being able to hear my daughter's voice. That was my lowest point. I went into depression from that. I suffered from anxiety, just trying to make sure I didn't flip out the wrong way. That's a hard thing to do, deal with if you really care about your child, not being able to, see or know what's going on with your daughter or child, period. That was definitely my lowest point. My strongest point to date would be the day that I went to court after all of that struggling and suffering, trying to, get into a position to take care of my child or have my child more. I went to the court and they granted me joint custody, joint legal custody as well as physical custody. That day was like my strongest day because I realized that no matter how dark, my past was, or no matter how dark my situation is, as long as I'm focused, I can always come out of it. I end up getting my daughter again, seeing my daughter happy to see me, and realizing that I can actually be there. And and of course with that, once I got over that obstacle, a lot of other doors just opened right back up for me as far as my career and everything, because I was in a better place mentally and spiritually. So that was definitely my strong point, just getting custody of my daughter, and just being able to be there for her.
Well, seeing that all those things come into play and they probably build who you are and how you feel, why don't you tell the viewing audience what being a father really means to you?
Okay. What being a father means to me, it means being a person who provides, being that person who, no matter what your child is going through, they can always rely on you. You can always count on you being there, whether it's, they've done something terribly wrong or they just accomplished their, biggest dream. You're always there. Basically being a lion. I wear a chain that has a lion on it, and it's kind of just, it means to me, basically protecting my cub. And a lion, he'll do whatever it has to do to keep his child out of harm's way. So it's really just about me making sure my daughter don't have to walk down the wrong alley, walk down the wrong path that I know is wrong just because I've done it already. And I can just guide her into, safe waters, so to speak. So I feel like the main thing about being a parent is just being able to provide and take care of your child and keep them out of harm's way.
Okay. And so you talk about keeping them out of harm's way. What's your biggest fear? As being a father in the city of Detroit.
My biggest fear of, with being a father in the city of Detroit is seeing my daughter in 10 years from now and realizing that my daughter is a thought. Okay? A thought. And that's real. I don't want to, I done seen a lot of hood rats. I done seen a lot of hoochies. A lot of prostituting, a lot of craziness that goes on. I just want to keep my daughter guarded from that nonsense. Like, I don't want to see my child dealing with that stuff. I really wish that she didn't have to see it or even realize it exists. So, that's my biggest fear. 5-10 years down the road, seeing my daughter pregnant and just, it's hard to even think about it.
Okay. Well, I know you've said you do things to influence your daughter, but what advice could you give to influence other children not to go down that path?
The advice that I would give to other children to not go down that path, it's kind of simple to me. And I'm gonna just start off with this term, which is grind high. And what I mean by that is it's a slogan that I use often, and what I tell people sometimes, and it's just like, if you're a young kid, depending on, it really doesn't matter what your circumstances are. It really depends on how far you want to go or what you want out of life. And I kind of give them positive ideas of things that they could be doing with their life, and I tell them to grind high on that. And that basically means find out where your focus is, work extremely hard at that, grind extremely hard at that, and ultimately you're going to reach your goal. I tell them that, like, I really say it like all the time, like almost every day. And that's really it. No matter what your circumstances are, where you come from, you can always reach another level. You can always go in a different direction. Whatever direction you decide you want to go into, select your focus. Point at the target that you want to reach. Don't point at 3 different targets or 3 different focuses, because you're not going to hit it, or you're going to have trouble hitting it because you're distracted. So at the end of the day, just pick a target and get that target. Don't worry about nothing else. Don't worry about the obstacles. Hit that target. That's it. Just stay focused and grind high.
Well, with the advice that you've given our viewing audience and what you said you would tell other children, and you've told us about your career and what you do in the community. So why don't you tell our viewer audience where they can find your work?
You can find my work on YouTube at New Center Provision /YouTube.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Rubber Bannerman, and it's the same on Twitter and as well on Facebook. I have a lot of positive posts, a lot of positive quotes, as well as comedic videos, etc. And that's pretty much me in a nutshell. That's it.
Well, I want to thank you for your time today. And I want to thank you for being a father.
Oh, definitely, man. I appreciate it.